Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So it's my great honor and pleasure to be here this evening in ISKCON Perth, Australia, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Mandir, Haribol, with so many wonderful devotees that have come here this evening. Thank you all for coming and gracing the occasion. May aap sab bahut abari hoon. Thank you all for coming. We're so grateful to you. And tonight we'll discuss about Kirtan standards and guidelines and different ways we can endeavor to make our offering of Kirtan to Shri Shri Gaur Nitai and the Vaishnavas to be more and more pleasing to the Lord and the devotees. So, before we begin, I seek the blessings, Ashirwad, of all the devotees that are present, that I can speak for my own purification. Kripaya Apsab Ashirwad DGA. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So we are called the Hare Krishna movement, and people know us as the Hare Krishna people. So the most important mantra that we chant in our kirtan is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Brihad Nardiya Purana explains Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalo nasteva gatiranyata. In this age of Kali, we should chant the holy names of the Lord. Chant the holy names of the Lord. Chant the holy names of the Lord. There's no other way, no other way, no other way. And Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text number 14, Satatam kirtayanto mam, satatam kirtayanto mam, yantantascha dridhavrataha, yantantascha vrataha, namasyantascha mam bhaktya, namasyantascha mam bhaktya, nitya yukta upasate, nitya yukta upasate, satatam kirtayanto mam. Krishna says, always chanting my glories. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridha vrataha, with dridha vrata, with determination. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. In this way, by chanting, we can be connected to Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya also said, in this chanting, there's no hard and fast rules. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatra pitani amita smarnena kalaha etadrashi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdeva midrishamiha janunanuragaha. That this name of Krishna contains sarva shaktis, all the shakti of Krishna, and it can be sung any time, any place, any circumstance. If you're taking a shower, you can chant. If you're waiting for a bus, you can chant. If you're driving your car, you can chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There was one great devotee who could not control his tongue to the extent that he was always chanting, no matter what he was doing. So one day, he went out to the stool field to pass stool, and he was thinking, how can I chant the holy name of Krishna in a stool field? It's not proper. So he was passing stool and chanting Hare Krishna, but he was trying to control his tongue by holding his tongue with his hand. He was going, Hare Krishna. He tried to control his tongue. And one small boy was nearby. His name was Gopal. And Gopal told him, why are you trying to control your tongue? You can chant any time, any place, any circumstance. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the devotee said, yes, you are right. Actually, you are a small boy, but you are actually my guru. And later that boy became Gopal Guru Goswami. Haribo. So Lord Chaitanya says, chant the holy names, no hard and fast rules, no time, any place, any circumstance. So why are we talking about Kirtan standards and guidelines if we can chant any time, any place, any circumstance? Thank you so much. Because the chanting of the holy names will have more and more potency if we do it in a way that is pleasing to Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas. So Srila Prabhupada himself definitely set some kirtan standards. For example, Srila Prabhupada wanted a particular melody sung during the Mangalartik. Okay, I'm going to sing 3 melodies, A, B, and C. You tell me which is the Mangalarti tune. Are you ready? Tune number A. Tune number A. Okay. Tune letter A. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Is it tune number A? No. Okay, tune number B. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Is it tune number B? No. Okay, tune number C. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is it tune number C? Yes. Bing! It's correct, huh? We have the right tune. So sometimes when Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada would hear devotees singing the wrong tune, he would send his secretaries, his assistants, like Shruta Kirti Prabhu, to go and stop the kirtan. The Mangal Artik is going on, and the devotee would be singing maybe some big sannyasi or GBC, and Prabhupada's secretary would come and tap him on the shoulder. Excuse me, but Srila Prabhupada said to stop the kirtan and chant the right melody. So, of course, always that devotee was very polite and said, oh yes, Prabhupada said we should chant the morning melody, so let's follow his instruction. And then everyone would chant, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Another instance where Srila Prabhupada stopped the kirtan on several occasions was when people were adding additional words to the Maha Mantra. Prabhupada said, keep it as it is. Don't add, don't distract. So one time, Prabhupada told his assistant, do you hear that? Do you hear what he's chanting? Can you hear that? And the servant was listening, it sounded normal. But then Prabhupada said, before every Hare Krishna, he's saying, Bhaja. Bhaja Hare Krishna, Hare. So Prabhupada didn't like that. So we shouldn't add anything to the Maha Mantra. Sometimes devotees, kirtan leaders, Bolo Hare Krishna. Have you heard that? So we should keep pure, purified. What does the word pure mean? Pure means nothing extra is added. If you have 100% gold, it's only gold. No lead, no silver, no copper, no phosphorus, nothing else is added. So purity means nothing else is added. So we should keep our Hare Krishna Maha Mantra pure, without any additions, like that. So we had a nice discussion this afternoon with some of our kirtan leaders in ISKCON Perth, and Sri Radha, Sri Gaurnitai Mandir. We had Sitaram Prabhu and other senior devotees, Rasika Prabhu, Mataji, I didn't catch her name, Mithala Sundari Mataji, and Padma Radha Mataji, and others were also present. Lakshmi? Rashi Mataji. Did I miss anyone? Yes, Prabhu's name? Stoka Krishna Prabhu. I know your godbrother, Stoka Krishna Gopa Prabhu. Do you know him? Wonderful, wonderful devotee. We can talk more about him. He's our general manager for our ISKCON Kirtan ministry. So we do a lot of seva together. Wonderful devotee. Yeah, fabulous devotee. I'm sure he'd love to meet you too. So we're discussing different topics about kirtan, and they mentioned some that they wanted me to discuss specifically. So I'll ask them what they were, and also if there are any other topics that you want to discuss specifically. Because there are many things to discuss. We could discuss for 3-4 hours, no problem. But we have just short time. So I'm going to take my notebook and I'm going to note down your points with the mercy of Krishna. Okay. So I remember a few of them. One was called Gender Kirtan, right? Gender Kirtan. And then chanting of Srimati Radharani's holy names. That was another one. What else did you want to discuss? Instruments. Chorus microphone. Harmonium. Or Kuch.
Prabhupada Pranam Mantra and then ending with Gurudev.
Okay. Prabhupada Pranam. Ending with Gurudev. Okay, I think that's all that we're going to be able to cover in the time. We'll be lucky if we can cover all this. Okay? All right, anyone has any question or comment? Do we have another mic? Dusra mic, hey? Kaha, where's the Dusra mic? So anytime anyone has a question, just go ahead, raise your hand. We won't keep questions to the end. Otherwise, we may not get chance for a lot of questions.
Other instruments.
Other instruments. Okay. Thank you, Stoka Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Preference on.
Kya?
Preference of who should sing.
Who should sing?
Yeah.
Kirtan, qualities and qualifications of Kirtan leader.
And the participants.
Okay, we're getting into past 7 o'clock territory here.
One more.
Okay.
Sometimes we have instruments which are hardly working, like the harmonium and the mridanga.
Broken instruments.
Broken instruments, and I don't know.
Why is there an echo on the mic? Is it a broken instrument? Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, that's another question as well.
Okay, also we can talk about echo on the Kirtan mic. Okay. Sound level, that's a big one. Okay.
Another question. Is there any significant difference between the standards for the Kirtan inside the temple and outreach programs? So what is the
Okay.
appropriate difference that we can...
Yeah.
Harinam is on Maharaj.
What
What is the standard for Kirtan of Harinam?
Yeah, I believe I understand your question is there a difference in standards between temple and the Kirtan and outreach programs? Correct. Okay, I better start answering questions quick, otherwise my whole paper will fill up. And I will be available. You can reach me. We have our website, iskconkirtanministry.com. You can send your questions and queries there. I'll make my WhatsApp available to everyone. You can all write to me and ask me any question that you want about Kirtan. And so we have a short time now, but this can be an ongoing discussion. Okay, first of all, why am I sitting here? What is my authority to be here? Why am I speaking on this topic? Yes?
To give us more spiritual knowledge.
What's that?
To give us more spiritual
To give us more spiritual knowledge. Let's hope that happens. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Please pray for me. I can fulfill that mandate. Yes, we're doing our best to do that. Thank you. Yes, and you're very eagerly listening, so good. So 2 years ago, ISKCON GBC body appointed me, for better or for worse, as ISKCON's Kirtan minister. So I'm supposed to help devotees in different centers to develop their kirtan and encourage them to chant more and improve the quality and quantity of chanting. I would consider it like trying to fan the flames of enthusiasm for chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we worship the Lord with kirtan. It's a Yuga Dharma. Suswagatam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We worship the Lord with kirtan. It's like in deity worship, we have puja, we have standards for deity worship. So similarly, we're endeavoring to implement some guidelines and standards for kirtan. Dhanyavad Mataji, Suswagatam. Hare Krishna. Jai Ho, Jai Ho. Someone may like to translate for her, right? Mataji, Hindi bol raha hai. Raha hi. Yeah? Yeah, she may not even be able to hear me. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, TK. So coming to Prabhu's point, Prabhu, can you share your good name with me, please? Yeah. What's your name? Sat?
Sakha Krishna Das. Sakha Krishna Das.
Sakha Krishna Prabhu, okay. So Sakha Krishna Prabhu has asked, is there a difference for standards in the temple and for outreach? First of all, we should clarify that even in the temple, there's two kinds of programs. There's the puja and also the outreach. Outreach programs happen in the temple also. So the answer is yes. There are different standards in the temple and there are different standards for outreach. And within the temple, there are sometimes two different standards even within the temple, depending on if it's just a worship program or if it's an outreach program. So does that answer your question? Yes, okay, good. Okay, regarding gender kirtan, have you ever heard a kirtan leader be doing the kirtan and all of a sudden the kirtan leader says, okay, now Mataji's chant. Have you heard that happen? Are you Matajis? No. We are Jivera Srupohoy, Krishnera Nityadas. We're eternally spirit souls. And we want to do kirtan on that platform, the platform of the spiritual platform, not to suddenly get into the bodily concept of life. So that has been discouraged by the GBC. They said this gender kirtan is not an appropriate way of performing kirtan. Otherwise we'll get Mataji sing, Prabhus sing, old people sing, young people sing, rich people sing, poor people sing. People with blue eyes sing. Okay, people with brown eyes sing. You know? People have a funny laugh, sing. People who are not laughing, sing. Okay. So, Jivera Srupohoy, Krishnera Nityadas. We're all eternally spirit soul, and this is a spiritual activity, so it's not approved to break up the devotees into different material designations, upadhis. It could be called gender kirtan, that's kind of catchy. It could also be called upadhi kirtan, chanting according to false designations. Yes, Prabhu, who has the mic? Kripaya aap, mic dijiye.
Thank you, Maharaj. So Maharaj, in regarding to this topic, if we are doing, obviously there's a temple etiquette, that should not happen, but sometimes when we're having a external like outreach program, and that helps because they're not at that level, but we're just creating an environment where they get into the kirtan, again, that's an external program, new people don't know anything. Can it be used at that point of time or not?
Can it be used as a gimmick to like catch their attention? Let's see what
not singing at all and not seeing that being effective.
So you think the goal facilitates the means, right? If we can attain the goal, it doesn't matter how we attain it.
Somehow they get attachment to the holiness.
Let's see what the GBC had to say with this a few years ago. Although I was the one that drafted this resolution. Okay. Where is it? Gender Kirtan. Yeah. Gender Kirtan. It's a guideline. Don't worry, no gender police will come. Gender police are here. What kind of kirtan you're singing? That won't happen. But let's see, it's a guideline. Whereas a new practice has emerged in ISKCON Kirtan consisting of Kirtan leader chants, ladies only respond. Kirtan leader chants, men only respond. Kirtan leader chants, full congregation respond. Whereas there is no description of Srila Prabhupada ever leading kirtan like this, nor of any devotee leading kirtan like this in Srila Prabhupada's presence. So it didn't happen in Srila Prabhupada's time. Prabhupada never experienced it. And Srila Prabhupada on a number of occasions objected to us adding new things. Prabhupada said, just do as I have done. And Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that we're not singing kirtan for the public. We're singing kirtan for Krishna. And if Krishna is pleased, he'll send a few sincere devotees to participate in the kirtan. Whereas this new practice emphasizes the bodily conception of life and our false designation as men and women. So some people in the kirtan may get disturbed that this false designation is being brought up. So we may be attracting some new people, but the existing devotees may get disturbed by this. Whereas when such questionable chanting occurs, some devotees are uncomfortable, alienated, disturbed, or may even refuse to participate in such a kirtan. And thus, the unity of our movement, even in its most core activity, Sankirtan, is jeopardized. So we're seeking unity, but this kind of chanting, upadi chanting, may disturb devotees and unity may be disrupted. You may get a few, but you may lose a few also. And ultimately, as we mentioned earlier, we're trying to please Krishna. It's kirtan for Krishna's pleasure. Lord Chaitanya never did this. Lord Nityananda never did this. They're expert preachers. Now we may say that was then, this is now, but we're taking a risk adding something new. Okay, resolved. Kirtan leaders in all temples and public programs should refrain from separating the congregation into responding sections based on bodily considerations like male, female, young, old, funny laughter, normal laughter, etc., etc., etc. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question? Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is the topic of Gender Kirtan. Anyone else have any question on this topic? Okay, I think I made it pretty clear. Next topic is chanting of Shri. Yes, someone has a hand? Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Can you say that please sing together?
Excuse me?
Can you say that please sing together rather than saying men, ladies, or Mataji's, Prabhuji's? We can say that please sing together or something like that.
So you're suggesting prompts. This is called prompting. We're prompting them. So Srila Prabhupada never did that. So it's not essential to prompt people. Today in ISKCON, especially in the Kirtan Mela culture, we experience chant from your heart, right? Have you heard that? Chant from your heart. And then little bit louder, little bit louder. This is called prompting. So this is something that Srila Prabhupada never did, and now you're proposing chant together, right? So it's not essential. Prabhupada did Kirtan fully fine without any of this prompting style. And I can also share that some devotees get disturbed with this. I'm chanting, and like one devotee shared, one very senior sannyasi, who's in a kirtan listening, and one young girl, maybe early teens, was leading the kirtan, and she was saying, chant from your heart. And the senior sannyasi was a little bit disturbed that, I've been doing this for 50 years, and this, 12-year-old girl is telling me to chant from my heart. It's a little bit difficult for him to digest. So I would question engaging in this prompting activity. Is it really necessary? Srila Prabhupada never did it. Although we see some of our newer kirtan leaders doing it all the time. That comes to an interesting point called the cat in the basket, which illustrates the point that we do things now and we think that's the way they should be done. It's like we think that's the way it's always been done, and that's the way we should always do it in the future. But it's not necessarily the case. So here's the story, the cat in the basket. There was a marriage. A young man, young lady, they were getting married, and the marriage was going on, and yajna was going on, and all of a sudden there was a cat, and she was causing havoc everywhere, running around. And then someone said, get the cat, get the cat. So they grabbed the cat, and they put the cat in a basket, and they closed the lid of the basket, and they put it aside, and then they could carry on the marriage program very peacefully. And then it came time that lady and gentleman who got married, they had a daughter, and it was time for their daughter's marriage. And the daughter was getting married, and her husband was next to her, and their marriage was going on, and they were just about to finish the marriage. And then all of a sudden the daughter said, wait, I heard that my mother's marriage, there was a cat in the basket. Where's the cat in my basket? So they find a cat, they found a cat, they put the cat in the basket, and generation after generation, every marriage, there was a cat in the basket. But no one knew the reason for that. And thus we have all of our younger kirtaniyas now, many of them, after every mantra, it's a little bit louder, please. Sing from your heart. Everyone together, right? So let us be cautious about introducing new things into the kirtan.
But then Maharaj, how do we encourage them to sing? How do we encourage at least the newcomers to sing?
Mm-hmm. How to encourage people to sing? So if we sing very simple tunes that they can follow, sing very sweetly, don't play the instruments too loud that they can't hear themselves. Because if you can't hear yourself, then you'll be reluctant to sing. That's one tip for those that play instruments. Don't play too loud. Don't play louder than those who are singing. The singing should be the most prominent part of the kirtan. And we can give them also a little bit of talk at the beginning of the kirtan, before the kirtan, or in between the kirtan. This is what kirtan is about, glorifying the Lord. Please chant and hear, and chant and be happy. Does that answer your question? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yes. We have a butt and we have someone with a mic.
Sorry, no, just adding up her question. I think you have answered already, but still, like, this is mainly for when we are doing a program for newcomers, so they have no experience of chanting and this following process of giving chorus after the lead singer is singing.
Yeah.
So just in between, sometimes we say Bolo Bolo or Hari Bol, sing loudly, just to encourage them that it's their turn to sing. So is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay. New people, you're trying to teach them how it's to be done. You're giving them some instruction. So my point is, it shouldn't become a regular part of our practice in every kirtan, and then after every mantra. It should be just done sporadically to teach people and encourage people how to perform Harinam Sankirtan.
So just depending upon you to see the audience, if the audience is not singing, just sometimes.
Yeah, if the audience is not singing, then sometimes you can even stop and you can explain to them the process of chanting Hare Krishna. Thank you sometimes. Yes, we have a hand here, and also you had something to interject. Put this side. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I just have a question regarding outreach kirtan.
Yes.
So I don't have this like often, but one time I've been to one house program and they asked me, if 4 people singing, all they singing is Hare Krishna, do you have any other song? So they're thinking this is the only song we have to hear again and again for 2 hours. We have any other song, but we have, of course, we have Acharya bhajans, but they don't understand those. So do we have any other like the part which we can sing and they can?
Yes, we have. One time Srila Prabhupada was asked by devotees, what else can we sing? And Prabhupada said, oh, you want to learn to sing something else? And devotees said, yes. And Prabhupada taught them, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Go Bhaktavinda. And Srila Prabhupada also sang, we see Prabhupada's own example, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya. Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. And of course we can print out song sheets of acharyas and print. Nowadays a lot of projectors are there, TV screens are there. We can do Vaishnava bhajans also. And there's also no harm singing Hare Krishna for an hour as well. Correct?
I'm just asking according to the public, will they say, okay, 1 hour Hare Krishna and can you sing something else as well?
So answer is yes.
Yes, you can sing.
Yeah?
And there is another question like, have you seen in a Kirtan Mela, I've seen like so many Kirtan Mela, big Kirtanias, they're singing Bhajman Radhe, Bhajman Radhe Radhe, or like different tunes, and they get very popular, and then there's the other congregation member, they want to copy that. So from my heart I was not sure whether they are bona fide or they just sing. And if they are singing in the Kirtan Melas, not in my group, but in the other Kirtan Mela which they have outside in Dubai or somewhere. So I was not sure like if they're singing and if nobody asking them to whether they are bona fide or not. So I'm not sure. Can you please clarify me?
Yeah, thank you for bringing this point up. There's a important, no, they're all important. There's a resolution from the GBC, and this is the resolution that started the ISKCON Kirtan Standards Committee. At one point there was a committee. Janananda Goswami Maharaj was the chairman. There was also Lokanath Maharaj, Bhaktivikash Maharaj, Gunagrahi Maharaj, Aniruddha Prabhu from Melbourne, Jagjivan Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple from South America, he left his body now, and Vyasaki Prabhu, a few others, they were part of this committee, very senior devotees. And this was their first activity, was to make this resolution about the chanting of, this was in March 2007, the Kirtan Standards Committee was formed. And they wanted to help ISKCON devotees know and follow standards of Kirtan required and recommended by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, and that there are increasingly divergent, means different styles and moods of Kirtan within ISKCON. There's sometimes disagreements as what standards of Kirtan are acceptable and what are not. And Prabhupada at various times gave directions and guidelines, what standards of Kirtan he wanted and found acceptable and what he did not. So a Kirtan Standard Committee was made. Harishori Prabhu also was a member. Bhaktivikash Swami, Janananda Das that time, now Goswami, Lokanath Swami, and Jagjivan Das, with consultation from Shivram Swami and Jayadvaita Swami. They shall formulate clear standards and guidelines for Kirtan within ISKCON. The Kirtan Standards Committee will present their findings at GBC AGM in Mayapur 2008 for approval by the GBC body. So the GBC asked them for a whole book by 2008. That never happened. But they did pass 5 resolutions, and then they handed the rest of the work over to me. And I'm working on that now. Hopefully we'll get a book within the next year or 2. Please pray for me. Give me your blessings by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So 2011, they passed instruments, what instruments should be used and when. And what else did they do? 2014, Hare Krishna Mahamantra should be the primary mantra in all ISKCON Kirtans. There should be more Hare Krishna in the ISKCON Kirtans than any other mantra. And then March 2014, chanting of the holy names of Srimati Radharani. Now this is a big topic. And I'm glad we've brought it up because, as you mentioned, one very famous devotee recently in Kirtan Ras in Dubai made some very controversial statements and led a very controversial kirtan. So here's the GBC's guideline. And the GBC is constituted of some of the most senior and advanced devotees in ISKCON. Okay, anyone would like to read? We have a mic. My voice is getting boring. Go ahead.
So whereas there have been conflict amongst our devotees arising as a result.
Read from here.
Okay. Whereas many devotees have expressed concern that the standard upheld during Srila Prabhupada's presence in regards to the chanting of the Srimati Radharani's holy names and related mantras appears to be diminishing.
Next.
Whereas there have been conflicts amongst our devotees arising as a result of not having a definitive policy on this topic.
That's what we're experiencing now, right? There's conflicts amongst devotees about the chanting of Srimati Radharani's holy name. Okay, go on.
Whereas although it is neither mandatory nor necessary to do so, because all personalities are automatically glorified within the Maha Mantra, it is understandable that some devotees may want to emphasize the name of Srimati Radharani on Radha Ashtami, whereas it is well known that no one could come before Srila Prabhupada and chant Radhe Radhe respectively as he would not allow it.
Repetitively.
Chant Radhe Radhe repeatedly as he would not allow it. He always told us to chant that the Hare Krishna mantra. Srila Prabhupada himself was never heard chanting Radhe Radhe. There is no evidence to show that Srila Prabhupada chanted or encourage others to chant Srimati Radharani's names in isolation at any time, including Radha Ashtami. Whenever Srila Prabhupada was greeted with Jai Radhe, he always replied by saying Hare Krishna, even in Vrindavan. Wherever there is a risk of deviation, if we don't follow Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada disapproved of the introduction of the mantras which were not given by the previous Acharyas or were not found in Shastra. Anyone else want to read?
The following should be avoided in temple and public programs as well as in recorded media. Chanting of the holy name of Srimati Radharani without the holy name of Krishna, that is Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe. Chanting of the holy names of Srimati Radharani within the mantras that were not introduced by Srila Prabhupada, previous Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Acharyas, or in the Shastra, including but not limited to Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Jai Radhe, Shri Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Govinda, Radhe Radha Rani ki Jai, Maharani ki Jai, Radhe Shyam, Sham Sham, Radhe Radhe. On Radhashtami, devotees may chant Srimati Radharani's holy names in isolation of Krishna's names to limited degree, but not more than 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 minutes.
2 or 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If ISKCON devotees want to give some special emphasis or attention to the glorification of Srimati Radharani beyond chanting of Mahamantra, they should do so by chanting mantras or bhajans which are authorized by Srila Prabhupada and our district line. An example of this is chanting of Radhika Stava from Stavamala of Srila Rupa Goswami.
Yeah, Stavamala is Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate, Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. So this is authorized. We went through a list here, A through F. These are not encouraged. These are...
This is the one commonly sing.
Excuse me?
This is the one commonly sings in our programs.
Yeah, so these should be avoided. Because the name of Srimati Radharani is there in Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada, most important thing, Prabhupada never did this, he never introduced this. Yes, go ahead, Prabhu.
Maharaj, also the question is there any room for the development? We know that, let's say, even when we invoke, for example, Gadadhar Prabhu, Shri Hladini Swarupaya Gauranga Sukhridaya Bhakti Shakti Pradhanaya Gadadhara Namostute. Bhakti, it has a nature of Shakti, so which is over expands. How we can reconcile, be loyal to Srila Prabhupada's instructions, yet experience the sense of development, of expansion. And next question is, Srila Prabhupada never did real Kirtans as far as I know, but now it's quite popular type of presentation. How we reconcile this?
Okay, thank you for your two questions. Question number one is you're saying that how can we stop the development of Kirtan with Srila Prabhupada's standards? The nature of Bhakti Shakti is always expanding it. It may overflow and continue to evolve. So how can we say that Kirtan will not evolve and limit the Kirtan to the standard that Srila Prabhupada gave us? Is that correct?
Not entirely, because definitely there should be rules.
Can you give him the microphone, please?
So my question, how we reconcile it, definitely what is the need for the rules. But then there should be a room for innovation as well.
Okay.
So is there any ideas? Do we have any ideas? Because many devotees privately, they express this desire with a sense of stagnation.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the kind of our struggle. If we are too liberal, we deviate. If we follow too many rules, we stagnate.
Mm-hmm.
That's a reality. It's not a challenge only with ISKCON. It's every major religious tradition in the world, went through this. So, but now for us, it has a particular relevance. So, do we have any plans? Do we have any suggestion, vision, how, while being loyal to Srila Prabhupada's instruction, still develop it further? Because we know Srila Prabhupada himself was a great innovator. Coming from Russian ISKCON, and there was a research. 14 major innovations compared to Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur. That's why Srila Prabhupada was so successful. So, so that his example is well that there is a place for innovation. So, if we only strengthen rules without providing opportunity for innovation and development, then I think we won't be successful. That's my personal kind of feeling about this.
Okay. Thank you so much for your comment and your question. So if I understand your comment and question properly, you're suggesting that if ISKCON does not innovate in its Kirtan style, then we run a risk of stagnation. So how to balance these two concepts of innovation and versus the tension of the danger of stagnation. And you also mentioned that Srila Prabhupada was the great innovator who came up with 14 major innovations. And you said that was the reason for his success. Correct? Now, I would like to perhaps add to that is correct, and that besides being the great innovator, Srila Prabhupada's cause of success, in addition to innovation, was his adherence to tradition. That Srila Prabhupada said, I have taken what I have learned from my spiritual master, and I have applied that Bhagavad Gita as it is. So I believe the two things need to be there. There needs to be an attention to innovation, as you brought up, but there also needs to be a strong attention to sticking to the classic parampara tradition. So there's a tension there. Do I have a plan? Do I have a solution how to resolve it? No. But let's work together and discuss and see what we can come up with. Is that all right?
What about Leela Kirtan?
Excuse me?
What about Leela Kirtan?
What about Leela Kirtan, right? Your second question. Leela Kirtan is relatively new in ISKCON, as I can understand. I'm not that familiar with it. I know that also came up recently in our Dubai Kirtan Ras performance. And some devotees wrote to me asking about it. And I haven't fully investigated yet. I haven't formulated my own opinion regarding it as of this time. Personally, I feel safe sticking with what Srila Prabhupada has given us, following as in Srila Prabhupada's footsteps. Srila Prabhupada said, "You do as I have done," and I don't see the Hare Krishna Mahamantra stagnating. I don't see it getting old. I think any way you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it's Krishna, Navayovanam, ever fresh. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I don't have an opinion on Leela Kirtan, but I understand it's a concern for some devotees, so we should have a look at it and carefully consider how to advise and guide devotees. Yes, Prabhu?
Just in addition to that.
Okay, can we have the mic up front? Did you want to say something, Stoka Krishna? Prabhu? Wait, Prabhu, can you hand it this way? And why don't you give it to him, because you've spoken already, he hasn't spoken yet.
What about pronunciation? Like when people pronounce, instead of Rama, they pronounce Rama. So like, what if they pronounce like a different type of mantra that you don't know and it's incorrect?
Okay, thank you so much for your nice question. The question is about pronunciation. So sometimes devotees pronounce Hare Rama and sometimes devotees pronounce Hare Ramo. So one time I heard the story that Srila Prabhupada was speaking with Vishnu Jan Swami, and Vishnu Jan Swami was pronouncing it Ramo. And Srila Prabhupada said, "Who is this Ramo? You're spoiling my movement." So pronunciation is important. On the other hand, Krishna is Bhava Grahi Janardanaha. He accepts our mood and our emotion. Krishna knows who we're talking about when we're chanting his names. So as a service to Krishna, as a service to Vaishnavas, we should have our pronunciation be as clean and as accurate as possible. It's also good outreach if our Sanskrit pronunciation is pakka, right? And at the same time, we should realize that Krishna understands our mood. So, if possible, have the pakka pronunciation. There are some important ones like Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, or Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamane, Namaste Saraswate Deve. Can you chant that? Namaste Saraswate Deve. It's Deve, not Devi. Devi is feminine. You're calling Srila Prabhupada Mataji, a female. So it should be Deve. That's a very obvious mistake many devotees make. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharne Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschadeshtane. So yes, pronunciation is important, and sometimes devotees say, well, Bengalis pronounce Ramo. But Srila Prabhupada was also born in Bengal, and Srila Prabhupada pronounced Rama. So let's try to be in this mood. And also some devotees get very upset when they hear the Ramo. Okay, so Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, we have a hand here, and then we'll take Prabhu's point. Yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Now the pronunciation has come, so I want to mention my doubt, which has been there for the last 8 years. It happened here in the temple, in the Bhagavad Gita class. I was sitting, very first interaction, and the devotee was saying Karna, like in the. So I was thinking, who is this personality? I've read Mahabharata. After 10 minutes, I know he's talking about Kirtan. So I think I'm like over it. I don't mind it. But while this topic has come, just asking, and I think it is there with multiple personalities, whether even in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the A is just elongated fair bit. So whatever you may say, Prabhu Maharaj, that would be very useful to me.
Okay, so thank you for your nice question. And this seems like very important to you because you've been keeping it with you for 8 years. This memory. You're first coming to ISKCON. Devotees giving pravachan. He's talking about Karn, right? Karn this, Karn that. Karn had his bow and arrow, his dhanush, you know? And then you think, who is this? Yay Karn hai, right? Who is this we're talking about? And then few minutes later, you figure, Karna, right?
He's saying actually Karna, but it should be Karna, but because we say Arjuna, Karna.
Arjuna, Karna.
And what Krishna.
Krishna. Is it Krishna or Krishna? Krishna is Draupadi. If you make the long A, like actually what's really strange, there's something very popular in ISKCON, extremely popular, probably all of us do this. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what is it? How they sing it? No, Prabhupada is good. Jai Prabhu, it's when they sing Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. That's feminine, right? It's very popular. I've kind of taken it out of my style. I sing Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, then it's masculine like that. So, yeah, if we make the long A at the end, it becomes feminine. I'm not sure how to answer this question. I think it may have something with the vernacular Indian languages, North Indian versus South Indian, different styles of presentation, different styles of pronunciation. So I had a discussion also with one Prabhupada disciple recently, Bhaktarupa Prabhu, who lives in Jagannath Puri. And he said it's very difficult to tell devotees to pronounce correctly because there are so many variations according to different regions. Right? So I believe it's a regional variation. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada said every year the GBC should come together and discuss unity in diversity. So you can reconcile like that.
Thank you.
Unity in diversity. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, can you have the mic?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. As continuing with the pronunciation, sometimes we sing in Kirtan, Hare, Hare, Hare. Is it right?
Unity in diversity. See, I'm from the West. I'm from New York. For me to claim my pronunciation is good, I'm asking for trouble, immediately. My tongue was just not born in such a way to do that without a lot of work, I've made some endeavors. I've taken some Sanskrit pronunciation courses. I've made some endeavor to have correct Sanskrit pronunciation. But when I was in Vrindavan, I was leading a Tulsi Puja. Ayendra Prabhu was there, and he called me after the Tulsi Puja. And he said, very good singing, but you sound like a New Yorker, you know? I was singing, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You know, that was my pronunciation that time. So Ayendra Prabhu, he taught me, he said, better pronounce it like a D. Hare Krishna, Hare. He said, people may criticize you for trying to imitate a Bengali, but at least it'll sound better. So now I sing more like Hare Krishna, and I usually, it's kind of the Gujarati, you know, with the 2 dots, Kemcho, right? So my pronunciation is kind of a hybrid, but at least I'm doing the best as I can, you know, like that. Does that answer your question? Yes, thank you so much. So I have a whole long list of topics that we haven't covered. Instruments. What instruments to use in the kirtan and when. When the arti is going on like this, and we're doing kirtan, arti chalte, then it should be kol and kartel, and maybe wampur and maybe gong, but not too loud. We also have to be careful of the volume of the kirtan. It shouldn't go above 90 dB, decibels. We're going to try to put a decibel meter in the temple room so devotees can see how loud is the kirtan. It's important because the ears of the devotees get damaged. What? Huh? I recently went for ear test, Bhaktivedanta Hospital. The devotee doing the ear test, she said, you need a hearing aid. Your hearing is mostly gone. And she said 90% of the ISKCON devotees that come, they all have hearing damage because the kirtan is so loud. So I advise devotees to carry earplugs. You should always be using earplugs, especially when the kirtan is getting loud. And we should create an awareness with a decibel meter. One devotee friend of mine in Abu Dhabi, he offered to sponsor decibel meters for all ISKCON centers. So we're working on that now. So I carry, thank you, I always carry earplugs with me. And these are very, very helpful. You put them in the ears like this, and then your hearing is somewhat protected. Now, at the end of the kirtan, if you hear a ringing in your ears, like ah, sometimes after a loud kirtan you hear that, that means your hearing has been damaged. Yeah. So please, parents, get some earplugs for your kids. I'm also trying to get a bunch of earplugs sponsored for everyone. This is a ISKCON Kirtan Ministry, ISKCON Devotee Care Committee, co-initiative. Devotee Care and Kirtan Ministry working together. So coming back to instruments, don't play them too loud. And when you play the instruments, please sing. Okay? Devotees who are playing mridangas and kartals, and please also sing. Because it's the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra that's the most important thing. Coming back to the point, artik is going on. Mridanga, kartel, maybe some wampers, not too loud. Maybe some gong, not too loud. Then conch blows. Nisinga artik happens. And then Prema Dwani, Jayom Vishnubad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtotar Shata Sri Shrimad, His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So like this Prema Dwani goes. Then Artik is finished after Premadwani. After Artik is finished, more instruments may be added with the permission and blessings of the local temple management. The local temple management will make the policy. What, if any, instruments are to be added? Like maybe harmonium can be added, or maybe some other instruments can be added. Personally, I'm not a big fan of djembe drums. I find they dominate the kirtan, they cover the singing, they cover the mridanga. So please learn mridanga, teach your friends to play the mridanga. It's a beautiful tradition. I feel that devotees are getting restless. I've been speaking too long. It's getting time to end. So I'll just ask if there are any more questions or comments. Yes. Okay, give microphone, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Not sure if this has covered before. What about the attire of the devotee who is singing in the temple, Maharaj?
Yeah.
And also for the Harinam as well, outside.
Yeah, my personal preference is that Harinam attire should be simple. We dress Krishna up very opulently and elaborately, and we put him on the altar. So if the kirtan singer is not on a stage, he's not a performer, he's a worshipper. He's worshiping Krishna. And the worshipper is in a very humble mood. Trinadapi sunichena, Tororapi sehishnuna, Amanamanadena, Kirtaniya sada Hare. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be devoid of all sense of false prestige, desire to give respect to others, not desire respect for oneself. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if we don't want any respect for ourselves, why should we dress in a flashy manner? Let's dress very simply. Let's let Krishna dress very fancy, and let's give all of our attention to Krishna, and let us not expect that we get any attention. That's my feeling, both inside and outside. If you want to make the outside Harinam party look flashy, I'm all for it, but not with fancy dress of the devotees. Of course, ladies, you can always dress nice, put on gopi dots, wear your saris and your silk saris and whatever you want to do. That's ladies' nature is to look nice, so that's fine. I have no issues. Ladies want to look nice. But for the Harinam party, we should have flags. We should have flags and pictures of Prabhupada and Mahamantra banners and Mahamantra signs. The Harinam party should look colorful and attractive, balloons and all kinds of things. But Vaishnavas, they don't want to attract attention to themselves. What do you think? How do you feel about my reply?
Yes, Maharaj, that's really great. But the question was more of like the attire for the devotees, like dhoti, kurta, or kind of pants are allowed?
You're asking about quote-unquote devotional attire versus Western attire. So personally, I prefer quote-unquote devotional attire, means dhoti and kurta. Prabhupada encouraged that. That being said, especially in the temple, because we're representing Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada always wore his sannyas robes, and especially for sadhus, or I should say renunciates, those brahmacharis, sannyasis, vanaprasthas, those in saffron, they should always be wearing their saffron vesh. as much as possible. But the grahastas, I have no issue if a grahasta comes to kirtan if he's come right from work, if he's wearing his pants and shirt, why not? It's practical. If he feels comfortable changing his clothes, that's also nice. I remember I used to do Harinam in New York City, and we had one of our devotees worked in the United Nations. And every day he'd come from work in the United Nations with his suit and tie, and come in the Harinam, Haribo! And he'd be jumping and dancing in his suit and tie, and his shoes looking very pakka. And I thought it was nice, I thought it was really good. Jayananda Prabhu, he used to give Bhagavatam class in pants and shirt. Of course, that was then, this is now, and temple has our standards here. I don't know what are the local standards for Bhagavatam. Dhoti kurta, so that's fine. So, yeah, I'm in favor of this, because it's a uniform, like spiritual policeman. You want a policeman, you see his uniform. You want a spiritual person, you see a Hare Krishna. So we're easy to identify that way. We see someone in Dhoti kurta, we're reminded of Krishna, and we can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So my personal preference, Dhoti kurta, preferred. But someone who's wearing pants shirt, they want to come on Harinam, most welcome. I would be the last person to tell them to go home. Does that answer your question? Yeah? Yeah. Ram Roy Prabhu is doing a Harinam Sankirtan every day in New York, and he told me he has only 2 rules for devotees who come on Harinam. Number 1, no blood. You can't draw blood from anyone. You can't assault anyone and make anyone bleed. Number 2, you can't cause undue mental distress to anyone. Other than that, you can do anything you want. Just come for Harinam. Okay? So we should be liberal, encourage people to come for Harinam. Thank you so much. Okay, yes, Sitaram Prabhu. Mike.
And if I understood correctly also, should they be leading Kirtan in the temple in non-devotional attire?
What policy do you want to have here? Could be a management call. This is all guidelines. You can decide on your local standard.
I prefer personal leading, any leading activity should be in devotional attire.
Okay. Thank you for making a clear policy here. We're grateful to you. Hare Krishna. Yes, we have quite a few hands. Mics, can you go?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
This isn't really about Kirtan, but why do we sit down during Narsimha Arati?
Why do we sit down during the Singha Arti? That's a good question. It's kind of like a cat in the basket question. We've been sitting down for so many years, so many generations, it just seems like the thing to do, right? But I can share with you, sometimes when I'm leading Kirtan in Gaur Artik or any Artik like that, then I will sometimes continue the Kirtan standing up and dancing, often, throughout the Singha Artik, and then do the Prema Dwani at the end. So sometimes at the end of Gaur Artik, there's Prema Dwani, and then everyone sits down and there's the Singha Artik. And sometimes what I'll do, and I've seen others do it also, is there's a Gaur Artik, and then the Singha Artik continues with devotees dancing, and sometimes they do little dramas about Nrsingadev. I don't know if you've ever seen that happen. Yeah? Okay. So that's also okay, that's authorized. There's no rule that says you must sit down during the Singha Artik, or the sit-down police will come and make you sit down like that. I have one friend named Bhakta Avatar Prabhu. Bhakta Avatar Prabhu is in his 70s now, and he's known for dancing like 18 hours straight. You know, he's like one of those amazing personalities. And he will dance from like Mangal Artik through, you know, the whole morning program, and then through Guru Puja, and he's even dancing during Jai Radha Madhava. You know, he dances the whole time, the single Artik. So, yeah, there's no hard and fast rule that we must sit down. It's just a cat in the basket kind of thing. Does that answer your question? Thank you so much. I think you had a couple other. This Mataji in the back there. Oh, you can go ahead. Yeah. Did you want to ask something next? Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Just a small question. Is it okay to sing our Acharya's Bengali bhajan in the temple during the festival time where there is more audience and they don't understand the meaning?
So let me see if I understand your question. Is it okay to sing Bengali bhajan in a festival time when the audience may not understand the meaning? Yeah. So first of all, I would suggest the Bengali bhajan, whatever one it is, be from our ISKCON Gaudiya Vaishnav songbook. It should be by Narottam Das Thakur or Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Lochan Das Thakur, one of these authorized authors who Srila Prabhupada appreciated their songs and also sang their songs. So there's no reason why any Bengali bhajan police would come. You know, it's okay. You're concerned that what if the other people don't understand the song? It seems like, yes, your concern has some validity. Your concern has some reason to give it some attention. So what to do in such a situation? One thing could maybe pass out, songbooks to the audience, or make some photocopy sheets where the audience can have them and the audience can sing along and they can understand, or projecting on the screen so the audience can sing along. There's nothing wrong with it, and nice to give the audience some facility to help them sing along. Is that helpful to you?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yes, to that, can we maybe read the translation first before the pardon? Is that something?
Can you speak in the mic, please?
I'm just saying, Maharaj, maybe just in relation to that, can we read the translation first so everyone knows what they're singing and they can get into it?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Read the translation first so everyone understands the mood and what's being expressed. Can you hand her the microphone, please? Yes, sometimes people read the translation at the end, and sometimes people read the translation in the beginning. Often I like to read it in the beginning so people know what they're singing. Yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. This is related to like Kirtan at home or according to my sadhana, where do I prioritize practicing my Kirtan skills or do my japa first? They're both like singing the Lord's names, but is one form more prioritized in my sadhana, etc., than the other? Or?
My humble suggestion would be to prioritize your sadhana, your japa. One time Srila Prabhupada was asked, how can we increase book distribution? And Srila Prabhupada said, sit and chant all of your 16 rounds at one time in one place. So that was, and book distribution is very, very important to Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada emphasized the japa. And I think we all have the experience that when we chant good japa during the day, during the morning, then the whole rest of our day goes very smoothly. Anyone here have that experience? Yes? You have that experience? Chanting japa? Okay. Many of us have that experience. So, yeah, to make a long story short, I would recommend doing your japa first, very focused, and then working on musical skills. The bhav, the spiritual advancement, is more important than a skill.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you very much. Yes. Last point, our audience is getting really restless. We haven't gone through the other points. Should I just touch on them briefly? Yeah? Okay. We'll take Mataji's point, and then I'll just try to touch these points with your kind permission. Yeah? Okay, go ahead.
So Maharaj, like, how we offer everything best to Krishna. And we have certain rules for various services in ISKCON. Like, for example, if there's deity worship, then only Brahmin initiated can do that service. If that's cooking, then at least that person should be first initiated. There are, like, for different areas there are certain rules. Like, if someone wants to give lecture, then he should be, like, little bit learned in our scripture. He should know what Prabhupada says.
And probably initiated also, right?
Yeah. So, but why when it comes to Kirtan, then it is said, oh, Krishna only sees bhav, he's a bhavgrahi, Janardhan, he only sees devotion. There's no need of any qualification or skills or any experience. Any newcomer can do that service. So why that service is usually, like, there is no proper standard or whatever.
Okay, I'm sharing with you a document here, which I shared earlier with Rasika Prabhu. This is a proposal that we've made to the GBC. GBC voted on it this March, and they're just confirming with the Sabha, which is like a check and balances committee, to make sure it's okay. Mostly it's passed. And it's Temple Kirtan Guidelines. There's about 3 pages. And I hope to print it out on an infographic and put it on the wall of all the ISKCON temples. And here we have Kirtan leaders. This is going to be the guideline. Preferably ISKCON initiated devotees in good standing, chanting at least 16 rounds daily, and following 4 regulative principles, or if not initiated, at least following the 4 regulative principles, accepting Srila Prabhupada's teachings, and regularly chanting japa. So this will be the minimum standard, minimum guideline. Is that okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, we have to touch on some various points here. Chorus mic. No chorus mic. We want one person to sing, lead, and we want all the devotees to respond, not just one person. So having one mic is encouraging the other devotees to sing. Okay? Any questions about that? Yes.
So Maharaj, just on...
Mic.
Just on Vaishnava bhajans, especially only during that time if we can use the chorus mic, because usually many people are not aware about the Vaishnava bhajans. Especially in our temple, it's not so much a culture of singing Vaishnava bhajans. Slowly, recently we are introducing festivals at least. So not everyone is aware about such beautiful. So slowly we want to bring that like on a regular basis. But yeah, I think it will be helpful because it's not just about following, but some of the tunes and melodies are different, which the audience is not able to follow. So this is like a support if a chorus singer has mic.
So it's a guideline, and you can do as you like in your own environment. Don't worry, there's no second mic police that will come. Woo, 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 woo. Second mic. No police force. If you feel it will be helpful for you, you can try. And with the mood of gradually weaning the congregation away from the second mic. Not it should become second mic and a third mic and then a fourth mic. We want to go in the direction of having a kirtan leader and the congregation responds. Okay? Sometimes congregations say, okay, there's one leader and then someone else is singing, why should I sing? The idea is to get everyone to sing. Yes, Dr. Krishna Prabhu.
Maharaj, in relation again to the mic, I was listening to Kirtan and I was really struggling to listen to the harmonium without the mic. The Mandanga player was loud, the Kartal player was loud, Kirtan was going on, there's no way I could have told them to lower your sound. Because it's a Mandanga, it's going to be loud. It was very close to me. And I wasn't feeling comfortable because I was struggling to hear the harmonium to get my tune right. So I don't know whether we can follow these rules 100%, what you presented, like no chorus mic or something.
They're not rules, they're guidelines.
Yes. So I'm glad you're clarifying that because sometimes the devotees might take that as final and finale, and then it might be very difficult for the sound person or the kirtanier to really struggle.
These are recommendations, and I can just share with you, if the mridanga player is too loud, you don't have to talk to him. You can go like this. This is a sign language. It means play soft. Okay? You're learning a new thing here? Because no one's ever told him to play soft before. Okay? If you're too loud, I'll go like this. It means small, huh? Chota chota, dire dire. You know, small. Soft, soft. Okay? Bring it down so he can hear himself sing, so he can hear his harmonium. All right? Same with the kartal player, like that. Who was playing Wampers last night in the Harinam? Yes. Did I communicate with you a few times? What did I have to say to you? Okay. Did you know what I was saying? Yes. So communicate with the other instrument players. Tell them don't play so loud.
I did that, Maharaj, especially with the kartal players. Just a little bit softly, but I think the tendency seems that we can go loud.
Definitely,
Communication would not work or something like that.
It's the responsibility of the kirtan leader to control the kirtan and communicate with the kirtan leaders, the kirtan musicians. That's part of our responsibility.
So if somebody, say for example, doesn't play with the beat or goes off beat, so we can communicate with them, right? Yeah, it should be a lot of communication between you and them.
Yeah. Prabhuji has a hand. He hasn't said anything yet. Why don't you give him the mic?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, is it offensive to sing while the Kirtan leader is singing? Like sometimes you like the tune and you are singing alongside with the Kirtan leaders. Is it alright?
Well, let me see if I understand your question. You're asking if the Kirtan leader is singing and then you choose to sing along with him at the same time, is that an offense? Is that what your question is?
Yeah, correct. But I'm not like you are singing too loudly, but you are humming in your mind like slowly.
Humming in the mind slowly. Can you give us an example? Demonstrate.
He just did.
I mean, you are singing alone by yourself.
I am? It doesn't sound too loud to me. Generally, if I'm leading a kirtan like Mangalartik, Samsaradava, and all of a sudden someone starts singing with me, I find it a bit distracting. I must admit, I share that. I find it a bit distracting. Offensive, I wouldn't say offensive, but distracting. Yeah. So better refrain from that. Sometimes when we're doing kirtan, especially outside on Harinam, if there's no sound system, like Lord Chaitanya's time, there was no sound system. So how did they do kirtan with thousands of people? So one of the ways they did it is the kirtan leader would sing and 2 or 3, 4 people would sing along with him. And that way, I saw His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj do that in London during a Saturday night Harinam for 2 hours. They forgot to bring the sound system. Maharaj went through downtown London for 2 hours leading kirtan with 200 devotees, having 3 or 4 devotees sing with him. So I've seen it being done. That time it's appropriate to sing with the kirtan leader. Sometimes kirtan leader wants you to sing along with them. But generally, it's Prabhupada encouraged us call and response. Kirtan leader sing, then congregation sing. Then kirtan leader sing, congregation sing. It's also not hard and fast. Sometimes you can have everyone sing at the same time, but then your kirtan leader will get tired faster, right? If he's just singing continuously. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Do you want the mic back or? Anyone else there? Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So just regarding the question regarding book distribution.
Yes. Book distribution.
Book distribution.
Okay.
Regarding the book distribution here, because the temple, the people who are in temple, they are busy in the other sevas. They have like too many sevas. So we don't have, and Grasta, they are busy in other services as well. They have also too many sevas. So we don't have time for the book distribution service, for the book distribution. So
yeah.
So the book distribution are not happening, which need to be happen.
Okay.
Like, so what are the solution which we can actually increase our book distribution? Even I'm not doing any book distribution. I'm not doing book distribution.
Yeah.
But I have like too many savers as well. So
all right. I'm trying to bring up a website here. It's called Fan the Spark. Like you have a spark and you fan the spark. When you fan a spark, it turns into fire. That wasn't good. Yeah, it turns into fire. So there's a website from Vaisheshika Prabhu, who is a book distribution minister for ISKCON, fanthespark.com. And they have so many resources to help congregations around the world develop their book distribution. One program that they do once a month is called the Weekend Warrior. The Weekend Warrior program. And they encourage all the congregation to get together on Saturday, Sunday, and go out for book distribution for a few hours. And like this, there are many programs. During COVID, they were all on the phones, distributing books by phone. They distributed more by phone than they did when they went out. So there are many ways to increase book distribution. So to take the initiative, reach out to the Fan the Spark team and see what kind of resources can be made available. What do you think, Sitaram Prabhu, about this idea? Can you give him the microphone, please?
Yeah. Recently, Dialis Vaisheshika Prabhu made a presentation about it. And it's very inspiring. And nowadays, like most of the temples are congregation based only. It's not unlike in the 60s anymore. So on the congregation, they're doing amazing festival, as you correctly said, once in a month, like a monthly Sankirtan festival like that. So and Prabhu presented like there were so many resources, so many opportunities actually. They are quite willing to share and help the devotees who is willing to do that. So there are many ways actually. If you have a desire, there's a way to do that also. So there's always many ways to do that by doing our services. And I slightly differ from his point actually is not book distribution happening here, which is not quite right actually, because in the recent years book distribution cost increased a lot actually here in Perth also. There are many devotees doing it. Even we cut services, but still when the people come to temple, we do distribute books also here too. And then Sundays we do distribute books. And then another Prabhu took the charge of book distribution. After he took charge of book distribution, and our book distribution has gone up quite a bit actually compared to many years before. But still there is a room to improve it, and many other devotees can take part in that. And we can take guidance from Vaiseshik Prabhu and involve in this book distribution, and we can do miracles in that too.
Jai Ho, Jai Ho. Do we have a book distribution in charge here in the temple?
Yes.
Who is that?
One of the devotees, Narottam Prabhu. Yeah, it takes care of that.
He's not here right now.
He's not here right now. Do you know the Prabhu? Yes. Yeah, so why don't, my humble suggestion, discuss with him, reach out to Vaisheshika Prabhu and his team. Maybe they can send someone here to do a training seminar for devotees here. Last night I noticed during the Harinam, we had quite a few devotees on Harinam. How many were there? Approximately?
40 maybe.
About 40 devotees. So if I didn't see that much book distribution going on last night. 2 devotees. Yeah. Yeah, Prabhu and Mataji were doing. So in the future, maybe that could be increased. Devotees can take turns chanting and distributing books if they learn how to do it. So it's humble suggestion. What do you think, Prabhu? Is that all right? What's that? You agree with Sitaram Prabhu. Jai Ho, thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay. Do you have something more to say? Yeah.
Maharaj, I have 2 short questions.
Okay. What about the broken mic? Broken mridanga. We should have instruments in charge. That would be very, very helpful. Someone to take charge of the instruments, make sure of the maintenance of instruments. And I especially recommend fiber mridangas, because these mridangas are made from cows. And how many mridangas we have here? Right? 1, 2. So how many cows? 2. Where did those cows come from? Where did they go? Nobody knows. And I had an alarming report from some devotees that more than 500 mridangas per month are going out of Mayapur all over the world. Okay? Now let's say if you only have leather for 200 mridangas, and then you get an order for 300 more mridangas. Where will the leather come from? Cows. So some cows may be killed to make mridangas. So that's very heavy. It's a very heavy statement. Some cows may be killed to make mridangas. So what's the solution? Fiber mridangas. Okay? So please buy your family members fiber mridangas, so we don't get implicated in gohatya, which is very nasty. Yeah. And there's a company in Chennai, they're called Madhur Mridangas, and they're making nice mridangas. Okay. Go ahead.
So Maharaj, just adding up on Krishna Prabhu's question, when he said that suppose he is leading the Kirtan and he sees that the instrument players are either loud, overpowering the lead singer, or they are going off-beat.
And then they're also not trained properly. Why are they playing so loud? Why are they overcoming the Kirtan leader? We have a Kirtan school. The Kirtan children, students should be trained, don't play louder than the Kirtan leader.
Yeah. So sometimes because the lead singer struggles because he is on mic and he's trying to give either eye contact or you said sign language. The the instrument players sometimes aren't there.
You have to tap them on their leg. You have to reach out and touch them. Yeah. Did I touch you last night? No? Maybe. If someone's not paying attention to me, I'm leading Kirtan. I'm the Kirtan leader. They shouldn't be in ecstasy. They should be following the Kirtan, right?
So maybe, for example, the instrument player is far from where the lead singer is.
You walk. I'm sorry, it's getting late. Please forgive me. Go ahead.
Thank you, Maharaj. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, they're very nice answers, but
Yeah.
just wanted to ask one particular thing. I've seen some of the senior devotees, like not in our temple but outside, they stop their kirtan sometimes, and then they specifically mention whatever they want to do because maybe the kirtan is going out of flow or out of control or anything. Like, is that allowed to stop?
Yes, Prabhupada did it on many occasions. Prabhupada would stop the kirtan. The kirtan is not proper, Prabhupada would stop the kirtan. So it's within our parampara. If you're leading the kirtan, you're not satisfied with the way the kirtan musicians are performing, then you can stop them. Okay? Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, one more question. So usually, sometimes we sit in a position facing deities, like the Kirtan team seats like that. So there has been always different suggestions on that, and we are not sure what is the perfect way of doing it. Some of them, they say you should face little bit audience also, so that the audience will be engaging. But some of the time, someone says no, you should face only deities. But then we are showing our back to the audience, which is not very engaging kirtan, and like we don't get a lot of participation. So what is ideal and how it is followed?
My personal preference, I don't sit and do kirtan. I stand up and dance and engage the audience in the kirtan. That was what was done during Srila Prabhupada's time. There wasn't this culture of, okay, let's sit down and have kirtan. It was always, let's stand up and have kirtan. So it's kind of a new culture in ISKCON that everyone's sitting down, not everyone, but many people are sitting down for kirtan. But my personal way of doing kirtan is what we've been doing since Srila Prabhupada's time, is stand up and dance with the people. Chanting, dancing, feasting. How can we dance if we're sitting down? Right? Right? So, I know it's the cat in the basket. You know, we've always been sitting and doing kirtan, but why do we sit and do kirtan? We want to engage the audience. I mean, for an abhishek, sometimes it's appropriate, because who can see the abhishek if everyone's jumping up and down like that? So for an abhishek, okay, I'll do kirtan for an abhishek. But personally, to engage an audience, I would rather be on my feet and looking at them and moving with them and singing with them and putting the mic in their face and trying to get them to sing and chant. Can you hand the mic to
just only in
Punya Shloka Krishna Prabhu? Yes.
Just in addition to that, Maharaj, when we organize some Kirtan melas and all that, obviously temple, Kirtan, after Aarti, continuation, everyone is standing, doing, so there's no sitting really, except pushing the prayers, which we already discussed.
Right.
But when there is a Kirtan mela, there is a certain mood, meditative mood. We want to create that meditative mood, so everyone sits and chants.
Okay.
During that time, and also with the kids, because they are right now all used to singing on harmonium only and not necessarily just...
There's also a quote that Srila Prabhupada said, harmonium is for bhajan, not for kirtan. Yeah.
I saw that actually.
Yeah.
But everyone's so used to it now and doing kirtan.
We're used to it. There's a cat in the basket. You can speak after he finishes his point, okay? Go ahead.
So during the Kirtan Mela,
yes,
when there is a slots, everyone's got half an hour, but there is a
half an hour, wow.
Or 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Why not 45?
Yeah.
Just so that they can accommodate us.
Okay, half an hour. Okay, yeah.
Actually, sometimes it's 20 minutes.
Okay. 10? 10? How many mantras can you chant in 10 minutes?
So during that time, maybe that question from us was how do we, so we sit here facing the deities and the audience, or the one who's doing Kirtan just face sing there for the Lord and everyone just sits at the back, or half and half?
Where to sit? That's basically your question, right? Where to sit?
Yeah, and which, like, way to sit?
How to sit?
How to, like, facing?
Where to face?
The deities, or
who to face?
Of course, the deities and Srila Prabhupada.
Okay.
But like Mother, you were saying, sometimes just engaging them or not, it doesn't matter or not matter.
Yeah, I don't have that much experience doing Kirtan Mela. I've done a few. I have experience sitting in Union Square Park in New York City and doing Kirtan there's always public. Sitting and doing Kirtan with a congregation and the deities. This temple is a little unusual because it's octagonal, right? It's an octagonal temple, 8 sides, which makes it the dynamics a little more interesting, right? So it's a little more challenging maybe. Well, definitely one point from Nectar of Devotion. Don't put your back to the deities, right? That's a given. We shouldn't have our back to the deities. Then that's the Siddhanta, that's the Shastra. So as long as you don't have your back to the deities, you can sit however you want. Yeah. Haribol.
Question been answered.
You answered your question? Okay, good. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I don't have a question.
Okay. Looking at my list. Gender Kirtan we talked about, right?
Yes.
You want to ask something? Yeah, please give her the mic.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
For like Kirtan Melas and stuff, like obviously we have a schedule how like everyone sings. Should we say like Nitai Gaura Haribol after every single Kirtan or just at the end? Like the last Kirtan?
Okay, the question is when to sing Nitai Gaura Haribol. Is that your question?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, good. So, if you listen to any of Srila Prabhupada's Kirtans, he always ends with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And he finishes. You will never hear any kirtan done by Srila Prabhupada that includes Nitai Gaur Haribol. Nitai Gaur Haribol is another cat in the basket program. Shruta Kirti Prabhu. Have you heard of Shruta Kirti Prabhu? Have you met him? Have you seen him? He's an amazing devotee. You should get a chance to hear him. He speaks the most wonderful Prabhupada Katha. He traveled with Srila Prabhupada as his personal assistant longer than anyone else, around 3 years, if I remember correctly. So he was with Srila Prabhupada in Mayapur, and he personally told me this. And I have this in we have our ISKCON Kirtan Ministry Unfiltered podcast. So if you visit our ISKCON Kirtan Ministry Instagram page, you can hear these podcasts. We interview many Prabhupada disciples about Kirtan. So Shruta Kirti Prabhu said, I was with Srila Prabhupada in Mayapur. And after one Kirtan like this, Srila Prabhupada walked out of the Kirtan Vishrutakirti Prabhu. And Srila Prabhupada said, they can chant their Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, but I will chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So once again, these are guidelines. There are no Nitai Gaur Hari Bol police. But also be aware, Srila Prabhupada never did this, and it's optional in Kirtan. It's not compulsory that you have to sing Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. If you do it, no police will come. But if you don't do it, you're doing exactly what Srila Prabhupada did. So there's also no harm in that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you give him the microphone, please?
After Nitai Gaura, we normally end the Kirtan with Prabhupada mantra, glorifying Prabhupada, and then of course Jai Gurudev, which get in the basket kind of thing. But yes, what about Jai Prabhupada?
Okay, so thank you very much for your questions. Let me see if I understand them correctly. You're inquiring about at the end of the Kirtan, sometime there's a Jai Gurudev. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. Sometimes there's a Jai Gurudev, sometimes there's a Jai Prabhupada. And did you mention anything else? Just those two things. So, in reference to Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, this was done many times in Srila Prabhupada's presence, and Srila Prabhupada never objected to it. Another perspective is Srila Prabhupada also never chanted Jaya Jaya Prabhupada at the end of his kirtans. Just like I was mentioning to her that Prabhupada never chanted Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Prabhupada also never chanted Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada's guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada, he was also Srila Prabhupada. But Srila Prabhupada could have chanted it, but he didn't. So if we follow Srila Prabhupada's example, and we don't chant Jaya Prabhupada at the end of the kirtan, we're still following Srila Prabhupada. Again, let me repeat my initial point. It was done many times in Prabhupada's presence, and Prabhupada never objected. So personally, in my own kirtans, sometimes I will chant Jaya Prabhupada at the end of my kirtans, and sometimes I will just stop, as Prabhupada did with the Maha Mantra. When it is during the Guru Puja Kirtan of Srila Prabhupada in the morning, I will always chant Jaya Prabhupada at the end of the Guru Puja Kirtan. If it's another kirtan, I may or may not. But I'd say 75% of the time at least I chant Jaya Prabhupada at the end of the kirtans. Coming back to your other point about Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev was chanted in front of Srila Prabhupada, and we have a record that Srila Prabhupada objected to Jai Gurudev. Because Prabhupada gave the reason. He said, "Who is this Gurudev? Who are you talking about?" It was impersonal. Srila Prabhupada was right there. But they didn't chant Jai Prabhupada, they chanted Jai Gurudev. "Who is this Gurudev?" Srila Prabhupada asked. So Srila Prabhupada objected to Jai Gurudev. Now, is it wrong to chant Jaya Gurudev? It's a gray area. We do not have a definitive answer on this, because in today's context, we have more than 100 gurus. So Jai Gurudev could refer to any one of them. Whereas in Srila Prabhupada's physical presence, there was only one guru, and that was Srila Prabhupada. That being said, personally I avoid it in my kirtan because Srila Prabhupada objected to it, and I want to be safe and just follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions. And I can also say when I'm with devotees in a Vyasa Puja, I will just chant the name of any of that particular guru who's there. I'll chant his name specifically. Like a couple of weeks from now is coming Param Puja Chaitanya Swami Maharaj Vyasa Puja Maha Mahotsava Ki Jai. So it's coming up in, I'll be in Brisbane. They asked me to attend the festival. If I lead the kirtan, I plan to chant Jaya Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj. Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj. It's specific. It's a specific person, a specific guru. So Prabhupada's objection was it's impersonal. Now, generally in ISKCON, we don't chant the names of specific gurus, but on a Vyasa Puja, often we do. So I've shared you my own personal standard and my reasoning beyond it. Is that all right? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
First of all, my apologies, Maharaj, we are not letting you progress the list. My apologies that we are not letting you progress the list. Just adding one more. The Ishwar Bhagavad class, Jai Radha Madhav, is it just the one tune which Prabhupada sang, or is it multiple tunes allowed?
Your question is regarding the melody of Jaya Radha Madhava. Can we sing one melody that Prabhupada sang, or can we sing multiple melodies? I have no objection to singing multiple melodies. It's the mantra that's important. The raga can vary. Yeah? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Just in relation to that question, the mantra actually is, the bhajan is Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Bihari. Sometimes they miss the Jai in the second one. They just say Gopi Janna Vallabha Girirahari.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Did I miss it?
And then yeah. Yes, you missed it.
I missed it, huh? Well, thanks for pointing that out for me.
No, not just. I
learned something.
And some are singing.
You have something to say? No, go ahead.
Jai, and some are not singing the second.
So I have to check the songbook and see. It's good detail to inquire upon. You know? No. Okay. Okay, you stumped the Swami on that one. Haribol. Yeah.
Nothing, just as you said, Prabhupada said the same way. There was no Jai in that.
Yeah, there's no Jai in there. Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Bihari. Gopi, this is songbook, Vaishnava song.
Uh-huh. Maybe you can also have a look. Can share the link with him. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaji, I saw sometimes when the Kirtanyas do the Kirtan, not the Kirtanyas, but some people who are not very experienced, they use the tuning of Hare Krishna or melodies with the movies like
Bollywood tunes.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
So is it allowed or?
Okay, let me see if I understand your question properly. You're asking, can Bollywood melodies be sung for Krishna tunes? Is that correct? Is that your question? Okay. So Rupa Goswami explains in Nectar of Devotion, he's in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he says, Anasaktasya Vishayan, Anasaktasya Vishayan, Yatarham Upayunjataha, Yatarham Upayunjataha, Nirbande Krishna Sambande, Nirbande Krishna Sambande, Yuktam Vairagya Muchate, Yuktam Vairagya. He says, Anasaktasya Vishayan. We should not be connected or attached to the material energy Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjata nirbande, not bound, not tied up. We shouldn't be tied up to the material energy, because we see Krishna sambande. We see the relationship of everything with Krishna. And then this is yuktam vairagyam. This is engaging everything in Krishna's service. So even a Bollywood tune can be used in Krishna's service, according to Rupa Goswami. Okay, that's one perspective, right? Use it in the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Who recognizes the Bollywood song? Yeah? Right? So it's a beautiful melody, and it can be used very effectively. On the other hand, some people, like these people, they recognize the Bollywood tune. And when I'm singing Hare Krishna, they're maybe thinking of the hero and the heroine. And the hero is, or the heroine, I don't remember which one, is saying, "When will my song touch your lips?" Right? That's the title of the Bollywood song. I had a friend of mine, he was showing me all these Hare Krishna tunes, and then he'd show me the Bollywood movie so I could see. So one person, I used to play the trumpet. I used to play trumpet in the Kirtans. And one person told me, when I hear you play the trumpet, I feel like I'm in some jazz bar, you know, in New York City. And I was thinking, what an offense I'm making, you know? We're here and dancing in front of Panchatattva, and he's telling me he feels like he's in some jazz bar in New York City. So we don't want to bring those kind of associations to people. We don't want people to come to the kirtan and then remember their favorite Bollywood movie, like that. So, according to Rupa Goswami, everything can be used in Krishna's service, at least those things that are not sinful. But at the same time, we should remember we don't want to bring those kinds of material associations and have people remember their experiences with Bollywood. Does that answer your question? Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Yes, Prabhu.
So my dad always told me we shouldn't copy all the great people like Yoga Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. So are we allowed to copy Prabhupada in Kirtans and all that?
Okay, thank you so much. What's your name?
Vedic.
Vivek.
Vedic.
Vedic. Okay, thank you, Vedic Prabhu. Is your dad here? He's in the back. Okay. Thank you. So Vedic Prabhu is sharing, if I understand correctly, that your father taught you not to imitate devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj. And you're asking, is it okay to imitate Srila Prabhupada? Is that your question? Okay. Now can I ask your father to kindly enlighten us as to what were you sharing with Vedic to say that it's not good to be like Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj?
I don't distinctly remember, but I think it was for Dhruva Maharaj not to leave the house and go.
And for Prahlad Maharaj not to think of the father as
So Vedic Prabhu, your father is explaining, if I understand your father correctly, that he was telling you, don't be like Dhruva Maharaj, because Dhruva Maharaj left home. Is that right? And he wants you to stick around. Okay. Fair enough. Your father loves you and he wants your association. He doesn't want you to leave home. Okay? Understandable. Yeah. I would probably feel the same way if I was your father. So he told you, don't perform an activity that Dhruva Maharaj performed that will bereft me or be a loss of your association to me. So that is different than myself inviting all of us to follow in Srila Prabhupada's footsteps and example in distributing the holy name, Harinam Sankirtan, to everyone in a organized way, in a very systematic and organized way. So I see them as two different things. Number one, Vedic, don't leave home. Number two, we should all distribute the holy name and perform Krishna Kirtan in an organized way according to a way that would please Srila Prabhupada. And that if Prabhupada came here today and saw the way we were doing Kirtan, then Srila Prabhupada should be pleased. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you so much, Vedic Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Did you want to make a point, Mataji? A question. Okay. It's getting too late. Last question.
Maharaj, can you please let us know about the mood of the Kirtaner? Because our Kirtan coordinators do face some issues in that regarding the word which I never heard before as well, called prime slot. I only knew prime numbers, but there's something called prime slot. So
have you heard of prime time TV?
I think so,
yeah. Yeah. So, Tranadapi sunichena, tarorapi sahishnuna, hamanina manadena, kirtaniya sada harihi. We should always desire to give respect to others and not desire respect for ourselves. We should be in the mood of desiring to hear kirtan from others and not putting ourselves forward as saying everyone should hear kirtan from me. And only when we're requested by the senior devotees, the temple management, then we should take the service of leading the kirtan, leading the community. And it is a service, and when we're called upon to do that service, we should do it in a very humble and gentle and sincere way. And sometimes the service will be at 4 p.m., and sometimes the service will be at 6 p.m., and sometimes the service will be at 8 p.m., and sometimes the service on Janmashtami will be at 11 p.m. But whenever we're called upon by the management, we should take on that service in a very humble and gentle way, sincere way. For example, the pujaris, they come and offer artik, I think at 4, is that the time? There's a 4 p.m. artik. But you'll never hear a pujari say, I came to do the artik at 4 o'clock, but there was nobody there. So therefore I waited till 6 o'clock, a few more people come, and then I did the artik. So in this way, even if we're asked to do kirtan and no one is present, just 1 or 2 people, or even no one, we can do kirtan for the 8 walls and the ceiling and the floor. Like that. 8 walls, yeah, it's octagonal. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah? So Does it answer your question?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah. Thank you. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki jai, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I have some Nisingadev oil and some